Hello.
Hello. Thank you for calling. No one
Whoa.
is currently available to take your
Whoa.
call. Please
Is
leave
Carlos
a
a
message
lady?
after the tone. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Meeting myself.
And now for the...
I lost control of this podcast. Hey everybody, this is the TMG Podcast. This is the regular episode. It's episode 58. And it's post ESGS, I guess. That's how we're going to call it.
Post ESGS show.
Post event. Like we just kind of released day 2 of our full coverage of the full coverage of day 2 of the ESGS. And now we're recording our regular show, episode 58. Right after ESGS, I'm exhausted. I'm sure everybody else is exhausted. And I think Mickey's right now is working on something.
I'm hella tired. My feet hurt. Like I need new feet, basically.
Yeah, I need new feet. I need new arms. I need new voice, I think. I'm gonna be kind of raspy in this episode. This is Carlos, by the way, and with me is Will.
Hello.
And Mickey.
Hello.
And we're pretty much going to summarize and conclude our thoughts and impressions of ESGS in a nutshell.
We've got a bit of news also.
We've got a bit of news. Like I won't lie. We wasn't paying much attention to what was going on this week because we were really focused on ESGS. And for those who don't know, ESGS is the Esports and Gaming Summit, which happened like in November 15 and 16. Mm-hmm. It's a mixture between an esports event filled with like numerous tournaments of different genres and different competitions, together with some local developers showing their games and everything. So it was actually a lot of fun for every kind of gamer, to be honest. And like I said, if you guys missed out, you can check out our full coverage of day 1 and day 2 of ESGS. And yeah, this one is the conclusion. News bits.
We can get to that later, actually.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah, we'll collect my thoughts about that one. I think we have something worth mentioning, but yeah, let's just let's finish it off. We're almost there in the finishing line. ESGS.
What did you guys think? Did you like? I enjoyed myself tremendously.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun. I mean, wait, what about you, Miggy? Like you're actually the person. I'm not too sure about you, Will, because if you've done like conventions every now and then. Because me, I like this is my first one officially. I mean, like.
Well, this is the first convention of mine where we're there in a working capacity. I've been to conventions as a...
I have never been to a convention. I don't remember the last time I went to a convention, actually. Like, I can't remember at all. So this is like my first ever, and this is my first also as a work thing. Mm. And you, Migs, you've done a couple of conventions before. How do you compare, like, this with... Or can you compare this with like, previous conventions? Mickey, I'm talking to you.
Wait, I'm lagging. Shit.
Oh, you're yes. We're not live. That's a good example. That's a good thing. We're back to our regular schedule because we're now in Skype. We are now far away.
We're not.
So
we're not in Carlos's car anymore.
We're not in my car anymore.
We are feeling that happened.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna plug it. I'm gonna plug it anyway. PLDT is now going against us. And, there you go. Again. Go, Miggy. What is your thoughts overall? I mean, no, how do you compare, of your previous conventions and with this one? Because you're the one with the most experience, technically.
No, I think I mentioned this when we did the day 2 podcast of ESGS. Mm-hmm. But I think the reason why I enjoyed this, like, probably the most out of all the other conventions is because, like Will said, we were there in a sort of working capacity and we got to see almost everything at the event instead of just, going to the one booth that we like and just spending the entire day there or something.
And actually, I think this is the first. Well, I know there have been some video game conventions locally, but they normally get tacked on to comic conventions or toy conventions, and it's not really a major focus of the con. And if it is, it tends to be sponsored solely by one group. Like I know Level Up Games have their own convention, and it's entirely their stuff, right? So this was really the first one, I think, in the country which had everything, really. Like, it had the esports groups, it had the local indie developers, it had a few international developers.
It had some publishers, of course. Sponsors.
Definitely a lot of publishers as well. I think it was a good representation of basically the game industry as a whole in the Philippines, rather than just small facets of it. So,
well, it's actually a good representation of what's the current state of the gaming industry here. Like, in all honesty, esports is the biggest, and the biggest turnout in the event is esports. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you can tell right away also what games are dominating that scene, because they had, I think, 3 Dota or League of Legends or something going on simultaneously.
3 MOBAs or whatever,
With people shouting at in every corner, you know? It's just chaos.
Yeah, I know. And then we did a couple of a couple of interviews with some of the local developers, and I'm still pretty amazed by our mic that was able to like separate all the bullshit, all the shouting, together with us talking to the developers. Because I think I had like maybe 2 developers asking like, is this gonna come out right? Because I can't hear anything, and I'm like, yeah, it will come out right, and thankfully it did.
No, actually, one observation I had was a lot of the focus, though, did tend to be on the esports side of it. And there's nothing too wrong with that. I mean, this is esports and gaming summit, right? So it's a big factor of that. But it does, it's sort of like a microcosm of the overall gaming industry, because, like, the amount of attention these indie devs got was not as much as I was hoping for, apart from us. I mean, I think there were 1 or 2 other groups who were talking to them, but
I'm sure there were a couple, because I couldn't really quite establish who was the other media people covering the event, covering the booths. But yeah, I know what you mean. But like I said, going back, it's what I saw in ESGS is a perfect representation of, or a perfect example of how the gaming industry is as a whole. Like esports is really big, and that's the big turnout. And then local developers, they have their own side. They're not as big, but that's just that. Yeah, but that's just honest truth.
Swag. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Esports and swag, because the lines were long.
Yeah, did you guys see how many fucking baller IDs they had at the event? They had like more than 10, like 1 for each game. The baller IDs that you wear on your dumb wrist.
Yeah, I know GameX had their own baller. PS had 2.
I
think
you get more ballers and shit?
Yeah, there was a League of Legends one, a Dota 2 one, I think, and a bunch more.
Yeah, there's a Monster
one. Are you
one.
serious? I wasn't paying attention to the swag. I was actually already mesmerized by our own swag already. Like, oh my god, ESGS swag. I'm overstretching mine right now, actually.
I forgot to give Will his Monster Energy sticker that we got.
It's fine. We got enough swag.
Enough paper. We didn't get the full amount of swag. No, but going back to the event though, there was a big turnout. The raffles, there was a lot of people running around trying to get as much freebies as they could.
Yep.
And that's common. I think that's really common in any convention.
That's just a Filipino thing, actually.
Or maybe that's a Filipino thing, maybe. Because I don't understand that long line for MSI. Because the MSI had a very stunning booth, and at first glance, I didn't know what the hell was there. But how we were just focusing on the developers. At first glance, I was like, okay, it seems like they're just focusing on or showcasing their rigs,
their computers, right?
Their motherboards. And then when I looked at one side and I looked back at MSI, all of a sudden there's a big line, and I don't know why. There's a big line. They're registering something.
Yeah.
I think there's a thing called a raffle quest that we didn't pay attention to, but apparently I think when you go to specific booths, you get a stamp.
You get stamps, right? Yeah.
And I think you get raffle points. Did anybody get hold of what that is? Is that really how it goes?
I only checked them out actually when I got home. Like that.
Oh,
that
what
raffle
was it?
thing.
I never bothered.
I don't
Yeah.
know. We didn't. I saw the drop boxes around. I think they
Yeah.
were in the middle of the entire hall, but I didn't check. And we heard the stage and calling out winners, diba?
Yep. And
For
they were
for
giving out
stuff.
Razer mice, keyboard.
Keyboards, bags, and all that.
Yeah, sorry, we weren't like ignoring this. We're just like focused on doing
we were
the.
busy. Man.
We were busy. We were doing the work.
Play
Like,
any video games.
I didn't get to play. No, we got to play the the other games.
No, I
just
mean
for
outside of
coverage.
the quote unquote.
Yeah, I didn't get to play Street Fighter. I wanted to do some shooting.
Diba?
I didn't get to play. Yeah, I didn't get. To
Well,
play.
but we did get to try a whole lot of new games, like
Which was a lot of fun. I have to.
Actually, I
honestly.
agree. I had a lot of fun trying, especially the Oculus Rift, which was, I think, the first for all of us to give that a go.
Yeah, let's talk about the Oculus Rift. That's actually the first. Like when you go inside the ESGS main hall, that's the first thing you see. Yeah, actually, that's the first thing you see. It's the first booth you will technically see on the left side.
It's the Samsung booth with like their racing game, and then.
Oh yeah, Samsung, and then after that is Synergy 88, which had I think they had 3 terminals to showcase the Oculus Rift with.
I'm so glad that they had a nearsighted one for just for
Yeah, for myself as well, because me and Will, we wear glasses and we're blind as fuck.
Yeah, so
And-
having a nearsighted calibrated Oculus Rift
was a godsend.
great. I mean, they know their market, right?
Yeah, they knew.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So that was
No, but okay, since we're already in the Oculus Rift on that portion, the Oculus Rift, with that kind of demonstration, it was pretty cool. I kind of liked it.
It was kind of cool. It was a little bit, but I think that was more the fault of the demo they had, because the guy said like he put it together like a few weeks. So
Which, if that's the case, that's actually pretty impressive.
it was rather impressive.
Because technically the Oculus Rift is not even fully complete. I mean, it's just it's not done yet.
Yeah.
You know.
But I now that I've had a chance to try it, like I can definitely see it as being a good peripheral for PC gamers.
For Facebook.
No, but I mean,
For-
like the applications are. There's a lot of, for first-person shooters, for simulators.
For simulators, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and then especially for these atmospheric kind of games, like when they had a horror game, which was.
Dude, I want a first-person basketball game.
Where you have to dribble a fake ball.
I just was like, I'm going to use the Oculus Rift to see where I have to pass the ball. Just imagine that. I mean, like, if you look left, that's where my point guard is. I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking that, actually. But yeah, the Oculus Rift, it has some technical problems, but it did do what the Oculus Rift was, planned, was meant to do. Like, it was supposed to, like, enhance the atmosphere of the game.
Yeah.
And make you feel like you're there. I think the one thing I was actually breaking the atmosphere when I was actually testing out the game Kuna was when I was playing the game, the audio was perfect and then the Oculus Rift was okay. I was like kind of moving my face, my cheeks, just so I can get out of the Oculus Rift a little bit, so I can see where the hell my fingers are.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know how the controls were. Because the lady who was explaining the controls for Kuna, she said that what was her controls again? She was saying that A was to move forward, W was supposed to crouch.
Oh wow, really?
Or something
that
like that.
She
And
also
then
mentioned something about the mouse wheel doing something.
Yeah, the mouse was moving forward.
Yeah, when I saw
wasn't-
Carlos
and-
doing it, nothing was happening.
It wasn't WASD. I assumed it would have been a standard WASD setup.
It was a standard WAD, but I was just following, instructions.
Yeah.
Like, this is the controls. Okay. And then when nothing was happening, like, wait. So I did the basic like WASD movement, and then mouse being the the head turning or whatever. It worked.
Yeah.
So just to confirm like where my fingers were, I had to like in the corner of my eye, like I could see my fingers, and okay, there it is. And there you
I
go.
think that's probably why the guy mentioned that it plays better with a controller, because
Yeah,
your fingers are automatically where they need to be. I tried it with a controller, and I found the experience pretty smooth. My only issue was sometimes I'd try to be moving forward, but my head was turned somewhere else, so my avatar would be moving one direction, and I'm looking another direction, and I'd get a little confused. So I had to keep reminding myself to turn my head forward again. rather than using my eyes, because normally like you're using your eyes to scan around, but now here you have to turn your head to look around.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like how atmospheric it was, and like you could look behind your back when you hear something and stuff like that. I really like that.
I was fully expecting a jump scare like that, but I guess they didn't think of it yet.
They will eventually. If you guys want to talk about if you guys want to check out the game Kuna, or impressions of Kuna, the one that Synergy 88 is currently working on and has the Oculus Rift as a peripheral for the game, you can go check out our day one coverage of that. We talked very extensively of that game specifically. But it's actually awesome, like going back to Oculus Rift, that we not only had one booth showcasing Oculus, we also had another booth which actually was from a bunch of students, was from Benilde, that apparently they were able to make a game that is in pair with the Oculus Rift. It's another scary game, but I just like the fact that ESGS already on its first year was able to introduce, even for us, something completely new. Like, this is the first time we experienced the
Oculus Rift. And
like, that's just wow. I think honestly that's already perfect. We paid for this for the event for like 150, I think, per day.
In retrospect, we didn't even need to do.
Yeah, in retrospect, but we did in support. But technically, just experiencing the Oculus Rift in that event is actually well worth the money already, in my opinion, because you don't see that every day.
Yeah, we didn't know that this country even had the Oculus Rift.
I did not know dev kits were actually circulating here.
They weren't.
But then again,
they weren't the only ones with it either. Like the Benilde students.
Yeah, like I mentioned, yeah.
Like apparently the Synergy 88 guys, they bought a bunch of dev kits of the Oculus Rift. They had about 4 up for demo, right, at the event.
Yeah.
2 nearsighted and 2 glasses, whatever.
Yeah, while Benilde,
one at Benilde actually belongs to the school.
Yeah.
The school has College of St. Benilde actually has Oculus Rifts if you want to go there and apply to their game development course, which I think is a really big one-up in terms of the IT courses here.
And to me, if you ask me, that's actually showing that they're actually staying updated to giving the best possible resources for their students to become game developers. Because right now, the Oculus Rift, there's a lot of buzz on it. Facebook owns it now, for fuck's sakes. And it's still just it's slowly being a better product and a better peripheral. And possibly a platform. You never know. You just never know how this can be applied to in the future. But yeah, going back to event though, that's actually one of the biggest highlights. Do you have to agree, or is there anything else you kind of want to?
Well, actually, one thing that I was surprised to see is the number of horror games that were that were being shown. There were
like 3.
There were about
4 if you count that out.
Yeah, there were 4.
Nightfall,
Kuna, the unknown
Untitled.mp4, and then Dreadout.
Right.
And then Dreadout, yeah.
So that was a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect that many horror games to be there.
It's in nowadays, right?
It seems to be the in thing because it's
what the kids like. That's what the PewDiePie kids like.
They don't have to. Well, it's not.
It's an easy way to demo the Oculus Rift, I think. Like
that, and I don't
jump scare.
I don't think it's very difficult to program. Well, I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but the thing is, like, you're basically just building an environment to walk around in. You're not.
Yeah, you cover it in darkness so that you don't see how bad it is.
Yeah, we're not developers, but I think I know your point where you just have to make an area for you to explore, or for your player to explore, and pretty much heavily work on the atmosphere. Work on the atmosphere.
Like, a few jump scares and audio cues here and there.
Yeah, and then there you go. Which is not a bad thing because we need a lot of horror. We've been like preaching that for the longest time, ever since even before October, that the horror genre needs to branch out and get out of the indie side because shit, we have too many shooters already in this damn world. But yeah, with ESGS, what I liked about the whole event is the fact that they actually, if you saw, we checked out, we saw the floor plan beforehand, and what we saw was they literally divided the hall. One side was completely just esports, competitions, everything on the right side. Competitions, Dota 2, League of Legends, Monster,
And
energy
all
drink.
the publishers basically were on one side, and then the developers were on the other side. And the publisher side was the more crowded one. But I think it's more due to that they had bigger booths and more elaborate setups.
Yeah.
Like the Strife booth was ridiculous. They had a giant TV.
Yeah, I guess we all have to agree that's one of the most appealing booths among everybody in that event.
Yeah.
Like it was really like it would pull people up because it looked really fancy actually.
It looked hella fancy, and they had they had the tournament. We unfortunately we weren't able to talk to them because they were so busy with their tournament. But
yeah, I was looking forward. I think that's the one thing we kind of missed out on. Like we scheduled an interview with the Strife people before the tournament started, but once we went there, because I think our appointment was at 3 p.m.
They might have started late or something, and then the tournament was already ongoing, and it was chaos for them. So
we couldn't find the person we were supposed to talk to.
Yeah,
we couldn't find him at all. He just disappeared. I did not see it. I don't even remember his face.
All you Filipinos look alike.
But that was sad. But yeah, Strife was like the most appealing. One side all esports, the other side was more on the developer side, and then in the further like in the corner or like in the far left
was
almost more esports stuff, but it's all the fighting game tournaments. You had everybody there. We're talking about Street Fighter, we're talking about Tekken Tag, we're talking about Injustice. All the console tournaments were all there, in a sense. We had like Blaze Blue, we had
they even had like a
Smash.
Under Night in Birth tournament on day 2.
What is that? But okay, cool.
That weird anime game with the bizarre title.
Yeah.
So that's how you know. It's everything.
But it's actually pretty crazy that we were actually so focused on one portion of the event, and if you just looking back, there were so much other things going on in that event. Like the Dota 2 was happening, Crossfire was actually happening.
Yeah.
Hearthstone was happening.
I don't know what game that was.
I don't know. I think it was the women with the clothes, with the skimpy outfits and guns. I don't know. I have to double check on that. Hearthstone was there. League of Legends. Yeah, League of Legends actually.
StarCraft was there.
Heroes of the Storm.
I think
there was a corner in the middle for Heroes of the Storm. People were playing it. I think there was a tournament. I'm not too sure. What else? There was a lot going on.
A lot, yeah. Oh well, even the booth right next to Strife had their MMO tournament.
Yeah, what's the developers called?
Cubizone, the publishers, and they had the Age of Kung Fu, and
which is another developer that we kind of scheduled for an interview, but their whole tournament thing also started, and then they
Dragon's
had
Nest also. They were having that on the big screen, if you remember. Fighting.
And then in the corner, I think, near the console area. It was very, very impressive, actually. I think when the event started, it actually started around 11 a.m. on day 1. It was kind of rocky because the introduction on the event, the queuing of when to show the video and when to they had some audio problems and whatnot. They had some technical issues, but once that was out of the way, everything in my eyes, it seemed like everything just went smooth from there. Like the tournament started to rock out, everybody was starting to do their own thing, and then it just flowed. It just flowed perfectly. But yeah. With the local developers, how many did we interview?
A lot. But I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of the variety of the games that we saw? Like, did you feel?
Oh yeah, the variety of games. For one, it was actually I was expecting less of the turnout of the amount of the developers on that one side. I was actually surprised to see that there was actually a lot to check out, and the variety of games that I was able to check out was okay, I guess, because it's a mix of PC and mobile games that are very similar. Like they tried, some are unique, some are very somewhat the same not a copy, but like a big inspiration to very famous app games right now. But I think overall, I'll just say that it's a good mix, because we did see a lot of creative concepts, unique art designs and unique gameplay designs.
A lot of,
And-
I was surprised by how many unique titles we saw, and then even the titles which did seem a little inspired, to say the least. When we talked to developers, the thought process behind why they wanted to make the game, it wasn't like none of them were there to like, oh, we wanted to make money, so we just copied it, right? They all had their own reasoning behind wanting to make this sort of game. So I thought that was kind of cool that, you know, it was not, you know, even though the game may be a little bit samey to what's out there, like there's a definite reasoning to why they wanted to develop it. It wasn't, you know, they're doing it because it's a passion for them, and not so much a.
No, for sure. When I was interviewing most of them and I was talking to them, it was definitely pure passion out of when I was talking to them and when they were talking about their games. They were like really trying to plug in and then really try to fluff the hell out of their games. And I appreciate that. I actually appreciate it a lot. I actually appreciate all of the developers who actually took some time to even talk to us when I asked them. And I think there's this one guy also that I don't know. I think all the developers had their own CEO there, and then they were actually like, wait long, because I think they weren't prepared to actually have some interviews. They were like, can you come back later because our CEO or our marketing will just have to. They'll come eventually. Yeah, but it's cool though that they accommodated us in the end.
Absolutely.
And what about you, Migs? What about you in terms of the turnout of the developers?
Like the indie side?
Like let's talk about, for example, because there's actually a group called IGDA, and I think they had that was actually them. I didn't think there was actually a group like that, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I was surprised that there's like a guild of indie developers in this country, which is like really cool. That, you know, I was surprised to just see a lot of like unique Pinoy developers. I didn't know there were so many here. And the fact that they have like a group together is already like very impressive. And they're gonna have an event like later this month, right? Somewhere.
Yeah,
we might check out if we can.
The 1-year game challenge. It's gonna happen on November 29 in the Smart Tower at Ayala Avenue, Makati City. I think it's around 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I remember talking to the chapter head or the the head of the version here, because the IGDA, which is like the indie developer group here, it's a group that is like that's also in different countries, like in Japan, in Indonesia, and Thailand. The one we met, the group of developers we met in ESGS is the Manila version, like this side of the Southeast Asian region,
Right.
And I don't know, if you guys are like inspiring developers and you guys want to make games or even mingle with actual developers, check out IGDA Manila in Facebook. You can just, apply to join their group, and then once you're in, you can just start talking to them. You can start asking when their events are. You can start joining their events, start mingling, and then start sharing codes and builds. Because when I was talking to the leader or the head of the guy, that's what they're there for. They're there to support each developer as they try to make it big, make a name for themselves. And it's essentially just a support group, an amazing support group to make a big gaming community or gaming development community here in the Philippines. Because if there's one thing, there's a lot of great talent, and that's the one thing we saw in ESGS. And especially with the students, I think we had Benil, like we mentioned earlier, with Oculus Rift, and we also had UP.
UP Diliman, yep.
And props to the people in Benil, though. Actually, I liked Limbones, Untitled.mp4. I think, Migs, you liked that as well. I wasn't able to play it because, quote unquote glasses.
I like both, actually. I thought the UP Diliman guys actually had more unique gaming ideas, in that they were really experimental, going way out there beyond what you would expect, and I really appreciated that. Like the 4-sided Tetris, that was something else.
Road Tetris.
Yeah, Road Tetris.
Yeah, Road Tetris. Yeah, and then the Kaloka.
Oh yeah, Kaloka was amazing.
And of course, actually, that's the thing. UP, that booth,
I'd say they were
they
like my favorite, just because the games are so unique.
I actually would agree. They are very unique. They're the most unique booth out there. Their games were not complete. They're not fully complete games that you would release and then you can distribute to consumers.
It's more like
but they're the most
concept, I guess.
Yes,
like,
exactly. It's a proof of concept
really
game.
Simple. Here it works. Then just try to get the best score.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know when a concept works, because I got the feeling from these games like the concept works, and I just felt like I want to get better at it, and that's a good indication that their concept is well thought of. And I really appreciated that from the UP department. I actually didn't even know UP had a course. Well, technically they didn't have a course for game development. I think they had a class, and this was a project. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think two of them, I think Kaloka and Rotetris was just for class, and the other two was just for fun. They just had a game. They were working on it. I think that one indie developer who was working on Jumping John and Eureka.
Yeah.
Like, that was just for kicks, I think. I think he just wanted to be a game developer. He wanted to break out, and apparently he was in UP, and then, bam.
Yeah, the Jumping John one had like I'm not sure if it's a real game company. There was sort of a name in the corner of the title screen.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
But I remember I was talking to the developer, like, it was just him, playing around, like, just one of those developers dabbling around making a game, and Jumping John was one of them. Okay, in terms of booths, like we also mentioned Strife, I think that one of the most appealing booths in ESGS was also Warstash.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because that's actually pretty neat, like how they set up the whole Warstash deal.
They had a sexy ass booth too, like their backdrop with the backlit logo.
I thought
They could have done better with their frickin' controllers though, because I was like in the corner when I was trying that game out.
But that game is
Yeah.
something else for sure. That game was hilarious in all the good ways.
Yeah. If you guys want to check out the Warstash, we have a full detailed coverage of that in day one. But I think that what we were saying is the most appealing one, because like other developers or other booths they just had like like they had banners up.
Yep.
And then they had their laptops. This one they had a whole freaking platform and everything. They had a logo. And I think at one point they also had like mustaches you can put in your face. I think in day 2, if you guys saw that, there's actually some like mustaches, like cardboard mustaches.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they actually worked on that on the day, because I saw them like putting detail on the mustaches and everything.
I guess
I don't know if
more people started visiting their booth, and then they would like video.
Yeah, I guess yeah, they're trying to like add up more spice into the booth, which is actually, it shows a lot of that they had a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I think when we were doing the work, when we were doing the rounds, it seemed like all of the developers were doing something. They were not like just lounging around, not just making bubbles with their mouths. No, they were talking to someone. People were checking it out.
Yeah.
And I'll have to give props lang to the event organizers, because that stupid raffle quest, I don't know what it does, but I think it requires you to go to the booth and try out the games in order to have a raffle. Because that's actually a great thing. That's why I love the overall concept of ESGS when I was seeing it. The main focus was the esports, because it makes sense. Like, the biggest crowd is the competitive gamers. And if you bring that over, bam, the local developers, the console, the lower console tournaments get a lot of exposure. And then you get that raffle thing, because everybody likes swag.
The swag.
You require them to go to the booths to try it out, because whenever they try out the game, I always saw those. I see people like after trying the game, they ask them to like make us like sign a paper or like stamp a piece of paper. I don't know what it was, but I think that was that raffle quest thing. And that's just amazing. Like, that's just a perfect way to give exposure to the local developers, like just a forced exposure, just out of sheer like, I want swag.
Yeah, it's a double incentive to try out a game, then you get something free for it. So like everybody wins, I guess.
Yeah, everybody wins. And then I think I was checking out on Pinoy PS, and then even like if you check out the ESGS page, they're all saying that they actually had fun with the event. They love watching the esports coverage, the tournaments, the matches, and they also like check out the Oculus Rift. They also checking out the new games. Like there's a lot of it's turning out to be like an event that had a lot of variety. because we not only we had local developers, not only did we have esports, they also had a little bit something for the cosplayers. It wasn't the main focus this time. It was actually more on the side. But we had cosplayers roaming around because I think we had a Godzilla at one point.
Oh yeah, we had a giant Zoid.
We had a Zoid.
Yeah, there was a mild cosplay competition. That's why like you had the cosplayers wearing IDs with numbers on them.
Yep.
And then after you take a shot with them, they'll ask you, please vote for me and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, actually, when I took a picture of the Sub-Zero guy, and then I said thank you, and then
number 10.
He was trying. I didn't know he was trying to talk to me because I took a picture and I walked away. And then he came up to me, and then he came up to me even closer, like, can you vote to me? Like, oh, okay, I thought that's what you were saying. Okay, how do I do that? And then like, no, just like, sign your stub or paper and then just like put it in the Dropbox and put number 10. So I'm like, okay, cool. That was it. I didn't know, because I'm not used to the whole cosplay thing. Yeah. And I think there was 2 Sub-Zeros in that event.
There were 2 Sub-Zeros. Yeah.
That made sense. And I think you asked where Scorpion was.
I tried to get this, like, because they were walking together at one point. So I was like, so what do you guys think about Scorpion? I don't think they heard me, but I would have loved to.
Where is Scorpion anyway?
I'm surprised there was no Scorpion cosplayer. That would have been an interesting mashup, but whatever.
But kudos to the Sub-Zero guy.
But I did find that what I did notice about the cosplayers, for the most part, the ones who entered all came as video game characters, and I didn't really see any of those generic Naruto, whatever.
Actually, it's true. We did see a Nakatsu, Akatsuki or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm not an anime guy.
Akatsuki jacket.
I'm not an anime person.
But then we saw like a whole League of Legends group. There were like three or four of them.
We had a Dota 2, I think. No, we had a League of Legends. I think that there
was
one
a guy
chick,
who was a silencer from Dota 2. Yeah, that's correct. The Sub-Zeros, War Machine.
We had if for you guys who know League of Legends, that girl that transforms into a cat. I'm sure you guys know. I'm not much of a League of Legends person, but we had a cosplay of a chick. A chick was cosplaying that character.
Yeah, I see. I'm currently looking at a picture of some of them.
Yeah, and then I think we also had one with an anchor.
Oh,
there's a guy. No, the big ass, like, it looked like a freaking Bioshock Big Daddy.
Gold armor thing with the lights everywhere.
Yeah. That was a League of Legends guy. He had an anchor as a weapon.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's from. It's probably from League.
It's probably from League. And we also had War Machine.
Yep,
there.
War Machine.
Yeah, with this fully automated mask, like lifting up.
I think he won. I think he won in the first day. I don't know.
Day one, yeah. And I think a lot of the kids loved it, because there's a couple of kids who joined the event, and I think they were having fun with War Machine and everything. So
I saw a Ryu there at some point.
I saw the Ryu at day 2 as well.
Oh, there was a Ryu. I didn't see that.
There was Lily Rock.
Oh, there was a Lily. There was a Lily for Tekken. I remember seeing a Lily there. I think I saw a Sailor Moon at one point, but I think she was outside. What else? But yeah, I like the fact that it was just solely focused on the games here. The reason why I never bothered the esports thing is because I think it was too meshed up with esports and cosplay, and it was never about just the games itself. It's more like the competition, the intense competition, and of course, the cosplay.
Right.
The pretty cosplay people, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So ESGS had a huge variety. It had something for everybody. Who likes swag, who likes cosplay, who likes esports, who likes game dev, who likes games, and who likes console fighting games. Even if you want to donate for a cause, there's a thing called Game Hunt.
Yeah, we didn't really figure out how that worked, but
it's a community. That's the one thing we missed, because I was checking out Game Hunt right after I launched the Day 2 coverage. I checked out Game Hunt. We missed out because I think they're also giving out freebies for that.
But how
and they're giving something.
Work? Like, you just go there, you pay them, and you get to play whatever.
I think you have to register. Then you donate.
Yeah, you play the game and then you register, and I think you can donate for a cause.
Yeah, because they're part of the Extra Life charity, I think.
Yeah, and that group is a Filipino group here, stated in the Philippines. And apparently, like Game Hunt Game Hunt is part of Extra Life, and I think Extra Life is like a thing done all around the world.
Yeah, I think it's a charity for cancer patients. like child.
Yeah, because
child patients?
in Twitch, we saw some extra life stuff happening on the actual game developers, like Gearbox Software. They like all the big developers have participated in a thing called Extra Life, and Game Hunt is part of that charity event or charity organization. And it's actually pretty cool that we saw them there. We didn't talk to them that much because we didn't quite. Actually, we're just so focused on the local developers. That was actually our main focus at ESGS because like the one thing we kept on saying that this is one of the rarest things. One of the rarest events to have actually local developers show up and then show their shops. So, when I think when we heard about ESGS, like we all agreed that that's our focus. We just talk to them, we interview them, we give them all the love.
Yep.
And damn, that was exhausting to give all that love. There was a lot of them.
It was tiring, but very, very fulfilling. I think worthwhile.
Fulfilling indeed. Okay, enough talk with the local developers. Final thoughts, though. What do you think is the best one? Let's give them a little.
My favorite.
Best game first. Let's go with the best game.
There, indie side, like locally.
No, the ones who were being showcased, like even not indie and like indie and studios.
Gosh, that's tough.
Overall,
there's so many good ones.
Yeah, there's actually a lot. What about you, Migs? Like, we'll go back to Will in a bit.
For me, my favorite one would be from the UP booth, Kaloka.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
okay.
it was
choice.
one of the games where I just gotta try it again, and I gotta when you lose, go again, just lose, go again. I gotta get better time at this, and I almost got up to a minute long before losing. Then okay,
I was horrible at that game. We talked more about Kaloka in our day one coverage of ESGS, but it's essentially 4 games in one, in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, micromanaging 4
multitasking.
mini games at the same time, and if you mess one up, you lose.
It's an amazing proof of concept, to be honest. Will, you got one already?
I would have to say War Stash was probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Crazy!
War Stash was fun, man.
Because it was fun, yeah. I wanted to play it some more.
Well, to be fair, Carlos got stuck in the corner. That's why.
Because Carlos that's why you don't like it. But
of course, because I was just kissing the
he was
corner.
the only one not allowed to play the game.
I was not allowed to play the game because my controller was fucking up so badly. And every time I thought it was just the one match, and hopefully the next match would fix it. Maybe it's just a bug in that match, but no, I go back to my corner once it starts.
When I passed by that booth at near the end of day 1,
but that seemed to be a
they actually put away the third controller that was bugging out.
Yeah, it seemed to be the controller bugging out. It wasn't your fault, buddy. It wasn't because.
Or even the game, I think. I think the game was actually working okay.
Yeah,
I think it was just the controller.
They were using DualShock 3s, which doesn't officially have PC support anyway, so that might have been it.
Yeah, that too, actually. That's actually a good point, that they're using DualShock 3. They were just making, I think, from what it looks like, they're just making the best out of the situation. We just need to have controls, and then give it the whole, because we got technically the whole couch co-op feel, just a bunch of friends playing a co-op game, trying to kill each other with a Russian roulette pistol, like men.
Like men.
And like men. So that's your best game. That's actually pretty interesting.
It's one of my best. I mean, God, there were so many good ones, but I'd say that's the first one that comes to mind for sure, for me.
Okay, well, for me, the best game, and I think you guys already know, it has to be in the IGDA booth. It had to be Project CQB.
Oh
yeah.
That's a good one.
Ooh, when I played it the first time, I'm like, wow, this was actually this game was.
Remember, we were staring at it early in the morning even, and it was I want to play that.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually one of the. Yeah, there's actually one game wait, I want to play that. That's the one game in the whole ESGS thing where I went, okay, that I want to try. That I want to check out. And when I tried it, okay, this is actually a pretty awesome game. I don't want to go into detail as much. How
would you describe it? For those who don't know.
It's pretty much MGS VR missions, if you guys know what that means. Or in layman's terms, I guess it's real-time
Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike.
It's isometric real-time strategy. Yeah, because you're pretty much how do I say this? You're pretty much controlling a squad of people with trying to knock out the other team, the AI team, and it's all about line of sight, it's all about positioning, and it's all happening in real time. You can't stop it or anything, and you have to position your guys properly, and you have to use the right guns on the right people, and it was a lot of fun. And they had, I think, when the project CQB, they had a couple of stages to check out, and I just kept playing. And having had a lot of fun with it. And the art style was also very appealing. It was it's actually bright, I guess, pretty vibrant. Like it was very appealing just by looking at it. It looks very simple, but it fits really well to what the gameplay is all about. And I think it was a developer. It's an indie developer. It's only one guy who made this. His name was Nico Tuazon. Mad props, dude. That was actually a pretty cool game. Like after playing it, I was like, double thumbs up. That was really, really fancy.
Fancy.
Fancy. What else? What about best? How do we?
Okay, here's one. How about what do you feel was the most unique?
Yeah, we're winging this.
Yeah, we are. The most unique concept you guys saw, like there for a game.
Crap.
I'm pretty sure it'll probably might be the same. Yeah.
What about second runner-up or something, or first runner-up rather?
Oh, well, okay. First runner-up, because there was I guess we all have to agree. There's a lot of great games there. But I guess for me, Project CQB was definitely number one. Runner-up will have to be. I'll have to give it to Kuna, to be honest, because they kind of nailed the
horror aspect.
They kind of nailed the horror aspect and the atmosphere with the use of the Oculus Rift, and I think they just nailed it. Especially when they were saying that they actually just worked on this build in a couple of weeks. That's actually very impressive. That's mine.
Yeah, and out of all the other horror games out there, Kuna was actually the most solid one. Like it had a clear goal, and once you reach the end, that's it. The demo ends, diba? Yeah. Unlike in Untitled, where
I saw a fetus in the end.
Yeah, and unlike in Untitled.mp4, where I had to stop because I got stuck in a fence.
Yeah. And then the developer was saying parang everybody was
like, yung fence na naman. So I'm guessing it's happened more than once. And then when you tried that Nightfall one, you didn't even know what killed you.
I don't know. No, well, I think the Nightfall one, that was another horror game. I remember the last thing I did was look at a dead rat, and it was over.
I don't even know what killed you there. Like, that was so weird.
I don't know what killed me either. That was really weird. What about you guys? Second runner-up?
I got one. I got to try Jumping Jean and Day 2.
Jean.
Yo, you're okay, man.
That's another game. I was just like, I gotta try it again. It's like I died.
The proof of concept, the uniqueness of it.
I don't think even Nintendo has done this. For context, Jumping Jean is it's a Mario-like game with a certain twist, but instead of Mario being an Italian plumber, he's named Jean, spelled Jean, and he's a French electrician. And
you're not playing.
You're not playing him. You're playing the Goomba.
You're trying to kill Jean.
The enemy.
Kill Jean. And you do it by basically touching them and they die. But in Mario games where he gets power-ups like the mushroom that makes him bigger or like the fire flower, the longer the game goes on, the more power-ups he gets. And I couldn't even get past the one where he had the big mushroom power-up.
So. Actually, I think that's the one game I didn't try out in the UP booth, though, because I heavily tried out Rotetris and Kaloka, they have really big. But that's actually pretty cool. But I did watch you play it, and it looks really interesting. What about you, Will?
God,
second runner-up.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
We'll go back to you then. It's fine.
You'd have to go back because I'm really having a hard time.
Just sprout out like a mushroom whenever we get it in the podcast. But yeah, that was a lot of developers. I think I counted. I don't know, Migs. You're still working on the interview, so I'm not too sure if there's a final.
I haven't started on anything yet. I'm just sorting out the videos palang because there's so
many. We covered a lot, but take note, guys, that our ESGS full coverage is just primarily focused on the developers. We did not intentionally snub the esports and anything just because Well, for one, I think they need to have at least a certain medium to cover them only specifically, because the esports was actually pretty big. So a lot of media, a lot of buzz happening on who's winning, like what the matches are going on. There's a lot of coverage on the esports. I think we all agreed that I think focusing on them alone was the right idea. So that wasn't intentional. That wasn't accidental. It was really intentional that we wanted to focus on the local developers. Because like I said like a while ago, you don't see this every day where they're all gathered up together, showing their awesome games.
Yep.
And I want to do a special mention to Jerry's Grill. Your shit were expensive. I want to put it out there. And SMX Convention Center, please sell water, or someone in that event sell water. There's like so many monster cans everywhere.
They had iced tea in the hot dog area. Like,
Not when I was eating.
okay.
They had
Get outside and
water?
water, and any liquid.
No,
that's not
I
Monster.
think because they're not allowed to actually have water because they had a sponsor there, which was Monster.
Monster Energy, yeah. That
And
might
if
be
there
why.
was water there, it would have to be supplied by SM mismo. So it's just good business.
It's just
And
business,
there was
yeah.
there was a cafe right outside the door, so and they had water
Yeah.
and all that.
They had water.
You just couldn't bring it inside.
Okay, another special mention, because there was that one booth that no one paid attention to. We all know what it is. I bet none of you know what it was, but it had a Japanese guy there.
With free candy.
He was in
With free candy.
he was in the middle of the event, and we tried so hard to find time to talk to him. We're like, I will talk to him later, because the guy needs props. Like, what was he?
He was
Offered royalty-free music and sound effects.
royalty, yep.
Yes, that's what he was offering, and I don't know. I've been looking at that corner of the booth the whole time. No one was.
I really
Going
loved
there.
talking to the guy because I understand what he was offering, and I was actually sort of interested. And
Yeah, because royalty-free like music and sound effects is not an easy thing to come by. And he was there. He was offering it. He was offering that and awesome candy.
The candy was really good.
we actually saw him starting to pack up in day 2, and then he just left all his candy there with a post-it note that said, "What
Help
did it say?
yourself. Help
Yeah, please help yourself."
Help yourself.
Oh,
And we felt
man.
With a
so
smiley
bad.
face.
I felt so bad.
With a smiley
I felt
face.
so bad for the guy. But I did see Jobert, the organizer, approach him earlier.
Oh, it did.
And after Jobert left, he started to pack up.
Yeah, exactly. And
Like
you were,
he
and then,
said, "Don't
and
need
then
to stay
Carlos
if you
was
don't
in the middle of talking to someone, so I didn't want to interrupt you guys. It's like, dude, let's get to the Japanese guy now. But like, by the time you finished, he was gone.
Yeah, so when I noticed that the candy was left and he was gone, I'm like, I feel so bad. I wanted to talk to him.
And I think his
that-
company was a sponsor too. Like, I mean, that even makes it worse.
Well, if his company was a sponsor, that's not that bad. But, if he was just there for something, if he paid to be there.
Yeah, I know. And then I remember we got some candy, and then it was like, oh, the guilt was actually even worse because the candy was so good.
It's really good candy.
The Japanese candy was so good. Like, who is this Japanese guy
I wish I got more.
showing
I
up?
got like one left.
I got actually I got two,
I'm
and I ate
contemplating
both of them.
of
Right?
whether opening it or not. Oh,
And I remember, I think after a couple hours after he left, the Game Hunt people were actually pointing out on the candy because one person went over. Because I was watching from afar, and one person went over, got a candy, he ate it, and they were talking, and then maybe 3 more came and started grabbing candy. Oh god, the vultures have come. The vultures have came and started getting whatever's left. But it's a lot of fun. ESGS was just a lot of fun.
I think it was a big success. I'm hopeful this will happen again next year, and I'm also hopeful we'll get more of an international presence next time. We didn't have that much international this year. We had Dreadout from Indonesia, of course, and then I think
And S2 Games had a very strong presence, so that could be international as well. Because Strife is not, made locally here and anything, so it was a very strong, showing.
Yep.
I think it's a big success because they had, I said again, they had something for everybody. they had a good balance of, I guess, I'm not too sure if they pleased the cosplay crowd, but it seemed like they did. They pleased the esports crowd. They definitely, well, for us, I think they pleased the developers crowd. And, the Pinoy PS, Pinoy 2D Gamers, Offcast, with their fighting game tournaments. Because I think even the console tournaments, they had their own, trophies and everything. So, and which was supported by ESGS. So there's a lot of everybody was treated, I think, fairly. Like, they had a good amount of variety. And, well, I think it's a success. You guys think it's a success?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Miggy was as well. You think it's...
Oh yeah, all the reception, post the event seemed to be super positive, and
Oh yes, yeah, and that's a good thing because I am definitely already game for ESGS 2015. Not right now though, maybe not again, but I'm still recuperating because we did walk around a lot. We talked to a lot of people. Wait, I forgot even to mention we even talked about, we talked to Greywalker's Purgatory.
Yep, we talked to Russell again.
Yeah, they were there too.
And, he had a good showing, with his alpha build. So.
They're the only RPG, I think, in that group.
Was it the only? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I think probably one of the more ambitious local projects. And
they're their own cosplay group as well.
Yeah. But probably one of the more ambitious games, which, as far as length goes, because even something like War Stash, it's designed to be played in 5 minutes, I think Grey Walkers is the one where you're going to be playing that for a couple hours, several hours.
Yeah, we talked to Grey Walkers, and we had a more detailed description or talk about Grey Walkers in our day one coverage. I just wanted to mention them just quickly. But overall, the ESGS event, I think, is a big success. If some sheer, miracle, Mr. Jobert Yu, who pretty much invited us to the event itself to cover it, thank you. We had a blast.
We had a blast. Thank you for inviting us. And, hopefully we did some justice too.
Now, I hope we did justice because, with talking to the developers, talking to you eventually, doing this kind of coverage. And I hope that, the overall, the receptions to your sponsors, so everything is a positive one, because I really, really hope that it will be a yearly thing. Yeah. Because if there's one thing, ESGS is going to be a big contributor to game developers and even the game community and the game industry as a whole here in the Philippines. Because this is something we need. This is really something we need. And I'm surprised, and I'm really happy that finally we have an organizer actually that thinks that way. Because remember, I got an interview with Joe Bird about that, and he was saying that he got a lot of inspiration from when he visited TGS, and he saw the potential of and he wanted to bring that kind of experience to the Philippines, and that's exactly what that was his inspiration. That was his idea for ESGS. He wanted to bring that experience, the whole TGS E3 experience, to the Philippines, and I think he has something going here.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so more power to those guys. So that's ESGS in a nutshell. Oh, I'm so tired, but it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely a lot of fun. I had a blast, and I'm also looking forward to the next one that comes along.
I am juggling my ballers right now.
So I'm guessing the only reason why we don't have more of these types of conventions is because nobody's just trying them out.
Well, can we say that? I don't know.
I don't know if anyone, if not
is that really the case?
But maybe it could be the case. I'm not 100% on that one though. But it could.
Well, I don't know. Here's one thing though. When I said there's a lot of variety, the esports is bringing the crowd. The crowd is paying more attention to the developers. The developers are getting more people trying out their games. The games get more attention. It will inspire more developers to make more games. It's going to be a chain reaction. That's what I'm seeing right now. If it happens, and that's why these events are very key. And hopefully there's going to be another one. Hopefully there's another organizer that actually would think that this is something that we need to do as well. Because the more the merrier.
Yeah, the gaming scene in this country is growing.
Mm-hmm. And, frick, UP, Benil, there's courses already. Even where I graduated, the Academy, they also have courses, and they have game jams
Have
and
you
everything.
seen the setups back at our old college? It's so fancy now.
It's so fancy, and I'm positive that my tuition helped that out because
okay.
we didn't have Apple, we didn't have
Way
those damn
better
anything.
than when we were there.
Literally, when I left, it felt like they were holding off. Like once our batch left, that's when they started dishing out the good stuff.
Yo, for context, when we were there, everyone was still rocking CRT monitors.
Yes.
Up until our graduation, even.
And now,
And when we left,
touchscreen Mac monitors with like tablet nonsense on it. It's so.
Literally after we left, the next quarter they had that shit. Literally after we left.
Right after we left. Boom.
Yeah, so I actually told one of the profs, like, thank you for everything, and I hope you have a good time with my tuition, because I can see it right now that you guys are buying stuff already with it. I even remember construction, like when I was going through the photo shoots and everything. There's like construction going on in the hallway. Anyway, awesome event, ESGS. I had a blast. Our video interviews, we did a lot. We did every single developer in the developer studio. We talked to them. We had a blast with them. We had a great time talking to them. Miggy's working on it right now. He's just
so many videos.
Thanks, Miggy. Sorry. It'll be all up on our YouTube channel, TMG blog. We will let all of you know. The coverage is done, but now the editing work has started. So we'll let you guys know through our Facebook and our website once we've properly fixed up these coverages, these contents.
Yep.
All right, that's ESGS, the Esports and Gaming Summit. It's now behind us. You will see all our interviews, like I said, on our TMG blog. Once it's up, we'll let you know. This is a regular episode, so we have to do the usual stuff, but I'll be honest with you, we're not that prepared because our focus was just ESGS. But there's a couple of things that happened within the week during, the whole ESGS weekend, ESGS week, sorry. For one, PlayStation just turned 20 years old. I mean, the whole brand itself.
PlayStation.
I think November 15, I think. But yeah, Sony released a video showcasing that, its rise from PlayStation 1 to PlayStation, I guess, 4.
I thought you were about to say its rise, son of Rome.
Now on PlayStation. Fuck you, Microsoft!
Crytek expands. But yeah, I feel old now. Apparently it's 20 years old. It's 20 since
I remember buying my first PlayStation. I was one of the first people to buy it amongst my friends.
I got a PlayStation 1 in December of 1998.
I don't remember.
First game I popped in was, I think, Crash Bandicoot 3.
Mine was
Parappa the Rapper.
My first game I ever bought was Tekken. The first Tekken.
Tekken 1? Nobody knows that game.
What are you talking about? It's classic.
It was just, no, it's like Tekken 2, and then 3, and then there was a Tekken 1.
Tekken 1 was pretty good, I think. I remember playing Tekken 1.
It plays exactly like 2, I think.
2 was slightly more refined, of course. But
moon jumping.
I remember seeing it in VMall. Like some guys had it set up there, and I was like, wow, this game looks so much better than Virtua Fighter. That's what.
I think Tekken 2 was my first 3D game.
Tekken was the game that made me want to buy a PlayStation.
Look at those graphics. They got
I think for me,
faces.
With the PlayStation 1, I forgot when I bought the PlayStation 1, but it was definitely when I was, I think, 7 or 6 years old. My parents bought me a PlayStation 1. And I think the first game that I popped in, it was an original one. I wasn't still in the piracy deal yet. Final Fantasy VII.
That was.
Wait, so it's when did Final Fantasy VII came? 97? Oh, then 97 is when I got the.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if it's. Yeah, I guess 97. I think that sounds right. Because I remember the first game was literally Final Fantasy VII. I think the following game after that is Alunda. I'm not too sure if you guys know that.
Alunda? Wow, I've never heard of that.
It's a Zelda game, like an old, how Link Between the Worlds. I mean, that kind of game, the top down.
Oh yeah, like old 2D.
It was something like that. Yeah, puzzler kind of game. It was a lot of fun. I actually had fond memories of Alunda. And then came with Crash Bandicoot, of course, Crash Bandicoot. But yeah, the PlayStation 1, it's been that long.
And we have only Nintendo to thank for the existence of the PlayStation, because remember, originally the PlayStation was supposed to be a Nintendo add-on.
Yep.
And
at some point it was supposed to be a Sega thing also.
Was it? Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's where they got the idea for CD-based games, I think. So when Nintendo flopped out, they went to Sega, and then Sega's like, we're gonna make our own then, so.
Yeah, Sega had the Sega CD. I remember that. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, the Saturn.
The Saturn, yeah, that was the one.
And
the PlayStation was officially launched in 94.
In Japan.
In Japan. Of course, it started in Japan.
So 95 in the States, and, I'm guessing we got the US versions.
I had a Japanese one.
Ooh.
I don't remember my version, to be
Japanese
honest.
one, and then I eventually modified it, as people do in this country.
Me as well. Yeah, me as well. I also modified it eventually. And, yeah, it was in 94, and I remember, before doing the cast, I was doing some research about this, about the history of PlayStation. Like you said, it was like some of a Nintendo thing or whatever, what you were mentioning a while ago. This was not received, not that well, even in Sony itself, because this is the first time Sony started to branch out, make a gaming console. Just like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Xbox is not in good terms with its daddy, like Microsoft. Like, Microsoft does not really care much about Xbox in itself.
Because it's not the moneymaker for Microsoft.
It's not at all, yeah, because Bill Gates doesn't like Xbox at all. He already has mentioned that.
They were in talks about selling the Microsoft brand. The Xbox brand, rather.
PlayStation had that same appeal, that same reception with their parent company, with Sony. Sony did not like it. They just thought of it as a toy or something that it was like a horrible investment. So it was a very hard stride for them, apparently, to make consumers think of it as a possible or a viable purchase decision for your kids or anything. It was a long, it's a long trek, a long haul, but eventually, I think PlayStation 1 sold, 100 million something units in the end. And then it established itself as a prime candidate to go against Nintendo and
Nintendo actually
Sega.
sort of fell along the wayside at that point because of their insistence in remaining with cartridges, if I recall correctly. But so that eventually led to, as everyone knows, do you remember some of the dumb gimmicky things that the PlayStation 1 had? Like, they had that stupid Tamagotchi memory card. Hello?
Alright, I just did something with my mic. Go on.
PLDT? I thought it was a PLDT again.
Do you guys remember that Tamagotchi thingy for the PS4?
Oh yeah, I know that memory card you're talking about. They tried to imitate the VMU that was on the Dreamcast.
Yep, exactly.
Where you could essentially boost your game progress a bit by leveling up your character.
Wait, the Dreamcast was together with the PS2. How is
No,
this?
it came before the PS2.
No, the Dreamcast
But these memory cards with the screens came out near the late end of the PS1 life.
Yep.
And they tried to copy.
So the PS2 was after the Dreamcast?
Oh, yeah.
My timeline's messed up.
That's how the Saturn came before the PS1.
Oh, okay, okay. I get it, okay. But I never saw that kind of memory card. I wanted a basic.
It was it was an interesting idea, but I get, there was no games that supported it.
Not enough games supported it. And it functioned as a regular memory card, so I guess you weren't really missing out.
Like Kinect?
It's better because it functions as a regular memory card.
I'm sorry, I just had to do it. It just sounded like a Kinect thingy.
You see that video about Kinect in Ireland, and it can't understand the Irish accent?
Really?
Yeah, the guy had to imitate a British accent just to get it to work.
Wow, that's terrible.
Xbox.
Xbox. But yeah, that's PlayStation 1. I had a lot of fun memories with it. Final Fantasy, and that PlayStation 1 was technically the one console where I had a big passion for games and everything. It's actually the one thing. It was a big juggle between PlayStation 1 and PC, because I was a very PC heavy guy as well. Playing Diablo or Civilization or even StarCraft back in the day. But definitely PlayStation was the one that first introduced me to consoles. And then eventually after, dabbling with the PlayStation 1, I got an N64, and then I started to branch out and everything. I think later on I got a PlayStation 2, and I think the PlayStation 2 is considered one of the best consoles ever.
The highest selling console.
Yes, the highest selling console.
Record for that.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers yet. I have to look for that, but I remember hearing that many times, and I think every other company has established that in that generation or in that point of time, the PlayStation 2 was the number one and stayed as number one even when the PS3 came out.
Yeah, it was the number one just because of how big the PlayStation name had gotten at that point.
Mm-hmm. And I think how many iterations did that console had? Like it kept going slimmer and slimmer.
The PS2. It had just the one major redesign, but then there were
the PS2 only had the one slim, and that was it. PS1.
Yeah. Oh, those are slim only.
PS1 also had one redesign in it. It had
but like
the PSX.
No, the PSX was the big one. Then it had the PS1 where the one was spelled out.
That's the one.
It's a really cute console because I had a friend who had one. You could put it on the palm of your hand. I think it's wider, but
it was that small. Yeah.
Yeah, but
the PlayStation
they had like a major redesign for Slim, but then those had multiple SKUs and like very minor differences.
And don't forget though that when the PlayStation 3 came out, the PlayStation 2 had huge support, and it felt like Sony could not let go of the PS2 support. I think after even 2 or 3 years after the PlayStation 3 has been released, they were still dishing out PlayStation 2. They were still making them.
Yep, the PlayStation,
and they were still supporting them.
I think 11-year lifespan before they said they were going to stop.
A decade plus lifespan, and they couldn't let go. I mean, I remember when they were like showing off, like I have to double check. I think they were showing off Uncharted 2 for the PS3 during that whole E3 conference, that whole E3 presentation. They had a segment for PlayStation 2, saying that like there's a vast collection of PS2 and they're still going to continue. I think after 2 years after that, that's when they announced that Japan has stopped seizing and stopped making production of the PlayStation 2 unit.
Yeah, one of the popular PS2 games, Persona 4, came out in like 2007 or something. Crazy about it.
I remember that the first 2 games that I was introduced in the PlayStation 2, I remember I went to my friend's house because he was like, "Oh, dude, I got a PS2, check it out." Like, "Oh, wow, really? It's already out? I didn't even know." I went up to his room. He had Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy X, and then Metal Gear Solid. I think Metal Gear
MGS2, yeah.
Sons of Liberty.
Yeah. And I remember I was like playing DMC as the first time I actually experienced a hack and slash. Like
the first
would hold you like for a long time.
The first PS2 game I remember being introduced to was Ico, actually.
Oh wow, that's actually a good one.
I think that
Ico was one of the earlier games and was one of the best games for the system.
Yep. And Shadow of the Colossus came out in like 2005 or something.
Yeah, that was another another latecomer.
Yep, and one of the best ones, I think. And then, of course, The Last Guardian came out right after, like a couple of years.
Decades after.
I'm just kidding. It's not coming.
Maybe at ESGS 7.
Oh, yeah, ESGS 7, when the PlayStation 5 makes a debut here in the Philippines. Alongside our usual esports and our local developers. And, the Oculus Rift 2 and everything, and the Kinect 3. And I'm babbling. I don't know what else to say.
But yeah, well, we're still kind of frazzled naman eh. So,
PlayStation has turned 20. I really feel old. It's 20 years, and not only is like the PlayStation brand is celebrating its 10th, the PlayStation 4 is celebrating its first year.
Yep. Wow, it's already been 1 year into the next generation.
Well, I think wait, I'll double check, but the PlayStation 4 was released in November, officially, and yeah, they're at year 1 now, and they're at now 13.5 million sold,
something like that,
just by day 1. That's amazing.
Oh, but speaking of sales, like, didn't you have information about our friend the Xbox?
Oh yeah, well,
no,
yeah,
I think like Microsoft themselves is keeping the info from the public.
No, I have a bit of info because they did announce something this week regards to sales. No, before that I was actually getting to know the PS4 was officially launched on November 15. So yeah, it's been 1 year already. Okay, so going back to what you were saying, the Xbox One's stats and everything. They officially announced that Xbox One they have now shipped 10 million units.
Not bad.
Yeah, shipped.
Oh.
Shipped.
Okay.
That.
See, they're being vague about it.
They're that's exactly what it is. Like, I don't get it. Like, instead of like PlayStation or Sony saying, we have sold this many units, maybe because it's true, and then, I guess just for the sake of them being able to say 10 million, they just like, prepare 10 million units so we can officially say that we have 10 million out there in the world for people to buy.
It's in a shop somewhere.
Yeah, and then they announce this, this is the headline. Xbox One nearly shipped 10 million units.
Nearly shipped.
10 million units worldwide, Microsoft has announced.
It's getting
and
bigger
it's
and
all thanks to the $50 price cut, which is only limited to
North America.
From North America up to November and December. Granted, it's helping a lot in terms of sales, bringing consoles to their living rooms and everything. But I just want to emphasize clearly that they're always saying ship. They're always just saying that we have this much out of the door. But how much exactly is sold, they're not really saying it. And that's funny. PS4 is now at 13.5 million sold officially. That's what they're saying. And yeah, that's the big thing that they announced so far, that, they can say now 10 million, whether it's sold or, shipped. They can say 10M. But that's it. I don't want to bore too much about the whole sales figures. PS4 has turned 1 year old. The PlayStation brand has turned 20 years old.
We've got a couple big
Xbox
releases this week.
Yes, let's go to that one. It's actually a lot. Oh, not really a lot. It's a lot for our wallets, though. But November 18, it's coming out tomorrow, or today, technically. This episode's actually coming up on the day we're talking about right now. And Far Cry 4, Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4 and the Xbox One, Little Big Planet 3 for the PS4, and Dragon Age Inquisition for everything except the Wii U.
Oh no.
Is coming out on November 8th.
Except the Wii U. Oh.
Yeah, I just I wanted to do that. Because technically it's
You're
true.
not wrong, but it's still a
No, I'm not wrong. Wait. Is Dragon Age Inquisition coming out on PS3? Wait, hold on. But
sure.
all of that's coming out in one day. That's like 4 very hotly anticipated games. And I don't know if our wallets can handle that.
Oh God.
I should be fine.
Yeah, you should be fine. I know your taste.
I'm more worried about the November 21st release, which
What is
won't
November?
be happening here. Super Smash Brothers comes out later this week for Wii U, man.
Why is
For whoever has the
why is it not
console.
happening here?
Because we usually get Wii U games like a week or two late,
Oh.
which you've seen from Hyrule Warriors and
Will.
Beta too. So
Will, did you notice, or did Miggy show you on day one of ESGS? He actually brought the bit.
Oh, really?
we brought the
Did you?
freaking game. We didn't do the bit.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do the bit.
What bit?
the bit.
The bit.
The bit.
The bit we were supposed to do. And you know what? I saw a screenshot in the Pinoy Wii U Facebook group that earlier in day one, they were running Mario Kart 8 on the main stage screen for a few minutes as they were testing out like audio and video.
Oh, nice.
What?
Like, oh man, we could have been playing Bayonetta 2 for a few minutes.
On the big screen.
Wait, the Wii U community was in the ESGS and we did not see them?
Well, they were,
Were they
kicked off
after-
stage because, they were just there testing out stuff. But yeah, there's a
They were
picture of Mario Kart 8 running on the big screen for a few minutes.
For a few minutes. Aw.
But it was there.
You-
Technically, they were there.
Aw.
Reggie, we were
Aw.
there. Nintendo.
Small mention for the Wii U in ESGS. They were there.
It's better. It's
cool.
doing better than the Vita, I guess.
Yeah, the Vita was not even
Vita
there.
means
Like,
life,
even
guys.
the 3DS was there because they had a Smash tournament. So.
Oh yeah, I got like 30 street
Yeah.
passes.
But yeah, November 18. I'm picking up Dragon Age Inquisition today or tomorrow, if iTech or DataBlitz does release those damn games in retail. I'm not touching Far Cry 4. I'm not touching Grand Theft Auto 5 again, and Little Big Planet 3 maybe in Christmas for my nephews and whatnot. Like it's my little present for them. Are you guys picking up anything? Well, Miggy, you're gonna try to buy the Smash Brothers just in case you buy a Wii U, I think.
Oh yeah, because the Wii U like games, we don't get a lot of shipments here. So since I'm sure that's gonna be one of the popular ones, I'm just gonna hoard until I eventually get a Wii U.
Yeah, because your Bayonetta 2 is very lonely right now. It's like the only colored case.
Blue. Every day.
I'm picking up. Wow, Far Cry 4 and Dragon Age, for sure. I'll be picking up.
Oh, that's gonna pick up. Did you know though that Far Cry 4 there's gonna be an alternate ending? I'm not spoiling it, but there's a way to get an alternate ending and getting it in just 30 minutes into the game.
That's cool, I guess.
You can finish the game in 30 minutes, in a sense, if you do something specific in Far Cry 4.
Well, there was a
Okay.
there was an RPG where, when like I guess a princess gets kidnapped. I think it was one of the Paper Mario games where one character asked Mario like, "Oh, we have to go save the princess. Do you want to come?" Then like if you keep saying no, like I think 5 or 7 times, the game just ends.
Yeah, something like that. Like they had something like that. If you just like do not follow, it will just end the game.
It's probably going to be like a mission that does that. So.
Yeah, or something like that. But it's actually, I don't know what. I don't want to spoil it. But if you guys get Far Cry 4, there's something like that, and you can find it. Kudos to you guys because I saw it because I like spoiling myself every now and then. It's a good gimmick or it's a good humor thing.
Yeah,
for
I
the
don't think
developers
enough
added.
games do that where.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not really a big deal, but it's actually why not thing. Like why?
It's like
it gives more options and variety.
It's like in Symphony of the Night. If you just straight up kill Richter in the first castle, you're missing out on 50% of the game, diba?
True.
But like before you didn't know that, so like, hey, I beat Symphony of the Night. Like, no, you didn't. There's a whole nother castle.
You were fooled. You were fooled.
Like my stupid idiot child brain at the time was like, what? Like, oh man.
Isn't it just like in Ghosts and Goblins where people thought that they finally finished the game, but apparently you have to do the thing all over again?
God, that game is hard.
That game is hard.
That game is hard, man. That game is super hard. I did not finish the game, but I remember watching my cousin of mine. Like, he was so adamant about it. He was so focused on finishing it. And when I went to his house one time, I even remember when I walked in, I opened the door and he says, "Shh, wait, I'm in the last stage." And then I closed the door silently. I watched him finish the last stage. He finished the last stage, and then he saw like what happened, and then he had to do it all over. And he was like, "Fuck! I'm getting a Coke." And he goes down. He just goes down because you have to do the whole thing again, and that's how you get. And if you do the whole thing again, that's when you get the actual ending, I think. And it was just funny that he was just like he was like so pissed off. He just walked out and he got a Coke. He went back in and we started talking. And he just turned it off. That was it. I was like, okay. And then until now, every now and then when I meet him, like, what, do you consider yourself a person that finished Ghosts and Goblins? I'm like, yes. I don't believe that the second thing exists. The second stage. Or the second playthrough. But that's it for news. I'm gonna cut it short in the news section because, I don't know. We were just too focused
we're tired and we're like...
Yeah, we're tired. I want to plug in a couple of news things that happened within this week, about PlayStation, about the news sections. We didn't even bother with the whole impressions thing that we do every week, like we talk about the games we played.
This weekend.
No, we kind of did the whole impressions thing because
we didn't get to play.
Yeah.
Like I said.
But thank God ESGS happened because technically I would just say Destiny again.
Destiny. Lightning was there, so Destiny is Destiny.
Lightning was there. Oh shit, there's a cosplay of Lightning.
That's right, Lightning was there too.
Hanging around with like Brussels and Grey Walker's
She asked if she could sit down, and it was like, okay.
Nowhere else to sit. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. This is episode 58. Thank you for listening.
Don't
if
forget
you haven't
to listen
yet,
to the other 2 podcasts we did this week.
Yep, don't forget to do that. What you heard in the first half of this episode was just a big overall summary of the event itself. Quote unquote, in layman's terms, it was pretty awesome. But if you guys want a detailed coverage of all the local developers that showed up in the event, do check out our previous episodes. ESGS special episode day 1, day 2. Because we literally, like, after we checked out day 1 of ESGS, I think day one we went to my car, we did the recording, and then day 2 we found a coffee shop and we also did the recording after the rounds. So do check that out. It's already up there in the iTunes, in the website www.toomuchgaming.net. All our episodes are there. Even if you want to check out our previous episodes, even before ESGS, do all the social media stuff. We're also there. Too Much Gaming, Facebook, like us, Twitter. Do follow us as well for any updates. For any updates, indeed, because we are going to be rolling out our video interviews like in a couple of days. Miggy is on it right now. What else am I missing? If you guys have any questions, concerns regarding this podcast or anything, any questions or anything, literally anything, the TMG Podcast at gmail.com. You can email us there, as well as the Too Much Gaming blog at gmail.com. And am I missing anything, guys? I'm losing my mind here.
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
I said that. Oh yeah, the YouTube.
Stuff like that.
No, YouTube though. Yeah, TMG blog. That's where all our interviews are going to be uploaded on. TMG blog channel. That's what the name of our channel. Do subscribe on our iTunes for the latest, because we have an episode every Tuesday. So do check that out. And that's it. I think that's it. I am exhausted.
So many videos to work with.
I'm so exhausted. I am literally lying down now.
I'm not even done with half of day one's videos, and that doesn't include the audio pa.
Thanks everybody for listening in. We will see you guys next week with the regular episode, of course, episode 59. So, see you guys.
Take care.